Hello, my name is Ethan Palermo, and I just want to, before we get started, I just want a little background information about yourself. What's your name, where you're from, and where did you go to college?
My name is Michaela Palermo. I'm from Grafton, Massachusetts, and I went to Wellesley College.
And at Wellesley, what did you study?
I majored in Spanish and minored in education.
Okay, and okay, so on to the second question here. What would you consider your main passion growing up was?
I was really interested in theater when I was growing up.
Did you act on that in college? Were you involved in any clubs or any extracurricular activities?
Yeah, in college, I was a part of the Shakespeare Society, and I also did a couple of productions with the student theater company that was called Upstage at Wellesley.
And going into college, did you have any plans to kind of take your acting skills to a professional level, or was it more of a side hobby?
Originally, I had applied to college thinking I wanted to study theater and history, but I had the intentions of becoming a drama teacher.
Very interesting. And did you want to be a drama teacher growing up, or
I
did you have something else in mind? Say when you were 15 to 18 years old.
I was thinking about being a teacher. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to teach, but I was very passionate about theater, and I thought that was something I wanted to pursue.
And are you a teacher now?
I am a teacher now.
And how long have you been doing that for?
I have been teaching for 3 years.
Would you say that because you grew up with teaching as a passion, it has made the transition from school easier for you, or
Yeah, I think so. I think with any job, it's important to have passion behind it. I am excited about what I'm teaching. I'm a Spanish teacher. I try to show my passion to my students and share it with them and hope that someday they become passionate about either teaching or Spanish.
congratulations?
Thank you.
Um, so as you were growing up, and even in college, after college, would you say you had mentors? If so, how many, and who were they?
Growing up, definitely big mentor was my grandmother. She was a first grade teacher, and so she kind of inspired me to go into the profession. And she also taught me a lot about art and music, theater, literature. Generally, got me excited about learning and the process of learning. Professionally, one of my biggest mentors is actually a former teacher of mine. She was my middle school Spanish teacher, and we kept in touch throughout high school and into college. And I did a couple of observations in her classroom during college, and then right before my semester abroad, I actually assistant taught in her class, and so that was my first real experience in the classroom. And we still keep in touch, and she gives me a lot of good advice and keeps me on my path, I guess, as a teacher.
Good. No, that's a great answer. So let's take a step back first. Can you just give me the building blocks? You said you went to Wellesley, but you just mentioned that you studied abroad. Did you pursue a master's career, and kind of what was your educational path besides just going to Wellesley?
So went to Wellesley. I studied abroad during my junior semester in Santiago, Chile, where I was studying at one of the universities in Santiago. And then after college, I taught for 2 years, and then I took a year off to get my master's through Middlebury College in Madrid, Spain.
And where did you get your master's in?
Spanish,
Spanish.
with a
And
focus in teaching Spanish.
got it, got it. Quick question, but what would you say? Where would you say you like living better, Madrid or Santiago, Chile?
Actually, I've had students ask me this question before, and I would probably have to say Madrid.
Why?
I was more of an adult. I was living by myself, kind of really, truly experiencing a city by myself. Whereas when I was studying abroad, I was living with a host family. Um, I still had plenty of independence and everything, but I wasn't a full adult yet.
Understood. So your first professional year as a teacher, what quick snapshot, what was your favorite part
My
of that
favorite,
year?
my favorite part of my first year teaching.
Yeah.
Um, ooh, that's a tough question. The first year teaching is very difficult. It's very challenging.
And why's that?
Um, because you can study all you want, you can student teach, you can prepare as much as you think you can prepare. But every day is different and every day presents a new challenge. So I guess was probably my favorite thing about it. Your students keep you on your toes. Every day is a totally new experience. And I definitely learned the most about teaching during my first year of teaching.
And where do you work now? Did you start there, or are you kind of transitioning between jobs?
I currently work at South Middle School in Braintree, Massachusetts. When I first started teaching, I taught in the Somerville Public School system.
And I know you don't want to pick between the two, but could you, if you had to? What did you like better so far, and what did pros and cons of each, and commute, things like that?
I'm very happy where I am right now. When I was teaching in Somerville, I was teaching at a K through 8th grade school, and I much prefer working in the middle school, which is what I do at 6 to 8 in Braintree. I'm only teaching one subject. I'm teaching 8th grade Spanish, whereas in Somerville I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th. So it's definitely a more manageable schedule. But when I taught in Somerville, I had a 7-minute commute, and when I taught where I teach now, I have can range from a 45 to an hour and a half on the way home.
So there definitely is pros and cons
Absolutely.
of those, for sure. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I anticipate that I'll probably still be teaching in South. I'm pretty happy there. Professionally, personally, or just in general?
Yeah, let's go professionally.
Professionally, I see myself still teaching at South. I've also been interested in pursuing bilingual education, maybe counseling with Spanish-speaking students. Nothing I've had a ton of experience with, but I've seen little bits throughout my teaching career, and those have piqued my interest. But I see myself in the classroom probably for the next 5 years at least.
Would you consider going back to school to get a doctorate or a specialty in some sort like that? Or?
Yeah, I've thought about getting a second master's. A second master's. I don't know if I would get my doctorate in Spanish, but I've toyed with the idea a little bit.
Open ideas there. And I know you just kind of answered this question, but just a little. So you're living in Somerville, Massachusetts now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself living there, or in the Boston area within the next 5 years, even with working in Braintree, or?
Definitely staying in Somerville for the next year. Possibly beyond that, possibly not. I would like to make my commute a little easier, so my boyfriend and I have been looking at some options to make that transition smoother and commute a little easier, but also not difficult for him. So it's a balancing act for sure. But I definitely do enjoy living in the Boston area.
Awesome. And finally, you had to give advice to a young professional in any department or any industry, such as financial industry, teaching, healthcare, nursing, pre-med, anything like that. What would that be?
So twofold, I guess I would say, work hard, make a good impression. Your your coworkers are always going to value if you are working hard and putting your best effort forward. But also on the flip side, you need to make sure that you take care of yourself, keep yourself healthy, and really find a good work-life balance, especially when you're at the beginning of your career, when you feel like you're not sure how much time things are going to take up. So working hard, but also keeping that balance.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, and it was very important. Thank you.
Thank you.